Hello there, welcome to this session. In this session we are going to create the program or code according to a specific problem statement. This thing will improve your logic building. If you are an absolute beginner, then you should start doing this and you should solve the problems by yourself. Or first read the problem statement and try to create the code of that problem. So let's see this problem. Create a Java program which prompts the user to input a string and prints whether it is a palindrome. So for understanding this complete question, we need to understand the palindrome first. So what is palindrome? Like for example, let me write a string, let's say N-I-T-I-N, N-I-T-I-N, Nitin, N-I-T-I-N, Nitin. So this is the basic string. If I will read it from forward to backward, then also the pronunciation and meaning of this string would same, and if I will read this string from backward to forward, then also the meaning of this or pronunciation of this string would be same, like this. If I will reverse this, then also the meaning of pronunciation of this is Nitin, and if I will not reverse it, then also it would be Nitin. So such type of strings or such type of even numbers are also there. So this type of strings are known as the palindromes or palindrome strings. Remember this thing. And these are one of the prominent questions that interviewers ask. So there could be multiple ways to create the code for this. According to this program or according to the problem statement, we need to take the input from the user. Input from the user first. We need to take the input from the user as a string. We will take input, or we will take a string as an input from the user, and after taking the input we will identify that string is palindrome or not. Palindrome or not. And let me complete the question, or let me read the complete question. A palindrome string is that reads the same backward as forward. So as I have already told you what is palindrome, and it is giving an example that such as madam. Madam, if you will read madam from backward to forward or forward to backward, it would be same. Some guidelines are there: disregarding punctuations and distinctions between uppercase and lowercase. So we do not need to care about the uppercase, lowercase. We just need to deal with the string. If it is palindrome, then we have to consider, or we have to identify that a string is palindrome or not. Okay. So there could be multiple approaches. I will be solving the problem using a single approach, but I will tell you all those approaches through which you can solve this problem. So please pause this video now. Try to create the program by yourself, or try to create the logic. Even logics are enough. If you will be able to create the logics, then definitely you will be able to create the programs. So try to create the logics. So I hope you have tried it. Now let me show you, or let me tell you the approach one. Approach 1 is, let's say MADAM. This is the string. If I want to identify that this string is palindrome or not, then what I will do? I will reverse the string. Let's say this is str. Inside str, this string is kept into str variable. So what I will do? I will reverse this string into another string. Let's say I had reversed it, madam. Okay, so I have reversed the str into str2, and now I will compare each character of this strings, each character of both the strings. If all the characters of both the strings are same, then I will say that this string is palindrome. So this is the first approach that you can use. First, reverse the string, reverse the main string, and after reversing that string, store that reverse string into another string variable and compare each character of both the string variable that you have used. And if all the characters are same, then you can say that the string is palindrome. So this is the first approach that we can use. And there is an approach 2. Now here what you were doing, you have just reversed it and you are comparing each character. If all the characters are same, then you are considering that it is a palindrome. But why don't we do something in which we do not need to reverse this string? Sometimes interviewers ask that you do not have to reverse the string, and without reversing a string you will have to identify that a string is palindrome or not. So for that thing, we need to understand it properly, or we need to create a different logic. So in that case, we can use the approach 2. In approach 2, what we will not be reversing the string. Let me tell you first. Str n okay, sorry, NITIN, Nitin. In this case, we will be using the symmetrical and non-symmetrical way to find a string is palindrome or not. Like if the left side is overlapping on the right side, and if it is symmetrical, then it is palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. And it could be done something like this. So as the length of this string is 5. Okay. Now we are going to see that the first and last characters are same. Yes, they are same. Is the second last and second characters are same? Yes. Is the third and third character is same? Yes. So it is palindrome. That's how we will be checking the symmetricity of a string. Or basically in this logic we are saying that we will compare up to the middle character, like let's say cab back, cab back. According to this, first and last, second and second last, third and third last, fourth and fourth last. So if all these type of characters are same up to the middle, middle is third one. So if all the characters are same up to the middle one, then if you will reverse it, then also it would be same. Because if I will be reversing this string, then also it will give cab cab back, cab back. I had reversed it, so then also it is giving cab back. So that's what the case. That's what you need to understand. So this is the logic in which you do not need to reverse this. You reverse this string and directly you can identify that is this string is palindrome or not. So these are the two approaches that you can use for identifying that a string is palindrome or not. So let's get started. Let's create the code for this, and I will be creating the code for approach 2 because approach 2 is little bit different, and that's why I will be creating the code for the approach 2. Approach 1 is quite easy and you should have to create the code for this. Okay, let's go to the approach 1, and sorry, let's go to the command prompt. Okay, cd hacko /java. Okay, so let me clear it, let me zoom in. So let me create a file. So palindrome.java. In this file I will be creating a normal class. Let me zoom in. And if you are not working on CLI, then it is okay. You can also use the Eclipse or NetBeans, as you already know. So palindrome class PSP. Okay, and public static void main string ABC. And you will wonder that why how can I use a different class name if my class file name is palindrome, and how can I use the class name as PSP? So until and unless I will not give public here, I can use any class name here. So just leave it. Now here we need to take the input. So for taking the input I need to import the util java.util package, and then just use the scanner class. Scanner is equal to new scanner, and pass system.in so that it could read the input from the console. Okay, now string str is equal to scanner dot next line. Okay, after that we will create another function for identifying that a string is palindrome or not. So public static string, sorry, boolean, we will return true or false. So boolean is palindrome string str. So here let me call that function if is palindrome str. We are passing that string to a function, or even we can take a boolean variable as well. B is equal to is palindrome str. Okay, if B, then we will print system.out.println that it is palindrome, otherwise else system.out.println it's not a palindrome. Okay, so let's create the file now, or sorry, let's create the function now. Is palindrome. So in this function as in this logic we have to compare the first and last character, and then we have to compare the second and second last character. So there is something, in sync. Like when we are using the first, then we are using the last. Means first from the last. And when we are using the second character, then we are using second from the last. So we can do something here. We are having an idea, or I am having an idea, that I will use a variable start, which would be on 0, and I will be using an end variable which would be on the end index of the string. So 1 2 0 1 2 3 4 5, so it is on the 5. And on every iteration of the loop, because we have to traverse on this complete string, so on every iteration of the loop we will increase the value of start and we will decrease the value of end. So first we are on the 0, and first end would be on the 5th index. And when the first iteration would done, if both the characters are same, then we will increase the value of start by 1, so it would become 1, and decrease the value of end by 1, so it would become 4. So that's how we can compare the first and last, second and second last, third and third last, like that. So it would be very easier for us to identify that is it palindrome or not. So this is also known as two-pointer algorithm or two-pointer method approach to solve a specific problem. Okay, so let me create it. So integer start is equal to 0 and integer end is equal to str.length minus 1. Why I am doing minus 1? Because the length that string class returns or string variable returns, it is 1 based, but we need the length 0 indexing based. That's why we need to subtract 1. Now while start is less than end, because we need to identify it up to the middle of the string. That's why I am saying start is less than equal to end. Okay, now here on every iteration we will increase the value of start and decrease the value of end. And here we need to identify that as the character present on start or character present on end are equal or not. If they are not equal, return false. If they are equal, then do it. So str.char start is not equal to str.char end, then return false. If any of the character are not equal to each other, or if any of the character present at the end index and start index are not equal to each other, then we will return false. Because if they are not equal to each other, then definitely it is not a palindrome. And if this while loop is executed properly without going into this if condition, then definitely it is a palindrome. So that's why we are returning true. Now let's check it. I know that you will have some doubts that why I am doing something like this, or what would happen and how you have created this logic. So please try to dry run this code on multiple inputs. Definitely you will understand this. So let me run this. So Java C palindrome. I hope there would not be any error. Yeah, no error. Java PSP. So I think I haven't given any message to take the input. So yeah, I haven't given any message. So system.out.print enter a string. Okay, now it will ask the input from us. So Java C palindrome. Okay, I haven't given the semicolon. Yeah. So let me clear this screen because some errors were there. Okay. So let's give the string as cab back. So it is palindrome. Now let me give a string, let's say Nitin. So it is palindrome. Let me give madam. It is palindrome. Let me give ABC. It is not a palindrome. If I will be giving the uppercase, then there would be some problems. So NITIN. It is palindrome, but we haven't created the code, or we haven't created the code so that it could deal with the uppercase lowercase. So see this, it is saying that it is not a palindrome, because as I have already told you in the code or in the previous sessions that the Unicode of capital letter and small letter are different. So we need to convert that complete string into a single string. So string str, or we can directly give it to it. So str dot to lowercase. That complete string would be in lowercase, so that it would be very easier for us to identify that is it palindrome or not, and that restriction or whatever is given in the question, that the distinction between uppercase and lowercase letters would also be followed. So okay, let's see this. And as I have already told you that we should not use the parameter which is coming as an input, we should not use it, or we should not change it, but let's leave it now. Okay, let me compile it again and let me run it. So if I am giving capital N in the first as the first character of Nathan, then also it is giving it's not a palindrome. So why it is so? Str is equal to str dot to lowercase. It should not do something like that. Okay, sorry. str1, and we will convert str1 into string. Okay, let's compile it again and let's run it. NITIN. So it is palindrome. MADM, it is palindrome. And if we are giving MADM, then also it is palindrome. If we are giving let's say ABCCAB, then it is not a palindrome. So I hope this code is clear, the approaches are clear. Please try to create this program by yourself, logics by yourself, so that you can understand these things properly.